Hi, I am Carol with Carol Joes. Today we are going to make the cell phone chain. It just goes through the volume up and down button on the case if you have an iPhone. If you have a Droid, wherever you have a little spot where you can do this. So the supplies that you're going to need, you can go to caroljoes.com and I will have kits out there that you can purchase. They will include a colored acrylic bead. They will have white acrylic beads and then silver plated 4mm. You're going to need what I call is a cell phone dangle, and then crimp tubes, and I use sterling silver crimp tubes, the wire that you're going to use, and then for tools, not included in the kits that I sell, but if you have the tools, you need a cutter, crimp pliers, flat nose pliers, a bead stopper, or a piece of Scotch tape. So those are the tools that you need. So I'm going to move the camera down just a little bit here so you can see my work area. Bring it out. I moved my table around today and I need to move it a little bit different because it doesn't want to move at that end. But we'll get her going here. So I use the bead stopper. You just use the little springs and put it in there so it holds it. Always keep it on the table. I use a bead mat. You can purchase a bead mat or you can use a towel or something. It holds your beads. So if you notice, there's piles of beads here. So the pattern that I'm going to do is you start with silver plated. So, and then a white acrylic bead, a silver plated, your colored acrylic bead, silver plated, white acrylic, silver plated. Whoops, did not get that on there. There we go. And then the acrylic. And you just keep repeating the pattern. In the kits, I have it so that you can create the circle at about 13 inches in length. Everybody has a different size wrist. And for me personally, 13 inches is too much. But if somebody has a larger hand than mine, I wanted the kits to be big enough that you could put your hand through it and get it on. And so it really will be, if you use all the beads in the kit, up to you. If you like it really loose, if you like it tighter, that type of thing. And what I mean by that is, here, I'll show you. So I put my hand in and then do this. And so it hangs here. And I want it right here because I don't want to lose my phone. Some people might want it to dangle a little bit more type scenario. So, and mine is like 11. So you can kind of see here the pattern that I have going on, and I'll just keep repeating the pattern. And this one I am going to use all the beads that come in the kit and make it on the larger size. So you just keep repeating. Silver plated, white acrylic, silver plated. Oh, there we go, almost lost that one. Sometimes you might fling them across the room. In this kit, I did not include extra beads. So if you're going to make it with all of them, you're not going to want to lose them, or you might have to purchase some more. Because sometimes I fling beads across the room when I'm beading. Just a hazard of beading. More than halfway done here. Woohoo! Before you start crimping, you're going to want to look at the entire project. Since it is a pattern, you're going to want to make sure that you have made the pattern correctly and don't have missing a bead or have two of the same, or your pattern just off a little bit before you crimp it. Because if you do that, then you have to start over, and that just makes you a sad beater. We don't want sad beaters. And the way this pattern is, You will start with a white and you're going to end with a white. So that is the pattern. And so when you put it onto the cell phone charm holder, it's going to look like that. And this is right at 13 inches, like I thought. I forgot my last silver plated. You're going to take one of the crimp tubes, put it on the wire, take your cell phone charm holder, put it on, bring it around the top of it, and go back through your bead. So it will look like this. So if you can kind of see, I went through, so it hooked, and then I went back through that bead, and here's the end of the wire. You want to have a little bit of play in here. You don't want this so tight that this doesn't move, but you don't want it way back so much that you have a big hole like that. And the reason being is that just adds to it. You want it up close, but enough that this can play around. You take your pliers. There are 2 holes on the crimp pliers. We're gonna start off with the back one and then go to the front one. So you put it in, like right there, and you crimp down, and it makes like a hot dog bun. Turn it sideways to have like the hot dog bun opening towards you, and go to the front, and then that will smash the 2 sides together. There we go. Take your fingers and try pushing on the crimp tube. If it doesn't move, you're golden and you did it right. So now we're going to go do the other end. You just take your beads and hide that tail into your beads on that. There we go. Now you want to make sure we get it all the way down so there isn't any like spacing in it. You'll take one of the crimp tubes, put it in your cell phone charm, put it through that. Be careful when you're doing this that you haven't like crisscrossed this, that it does make a good circle. Then go back through the crimp tube and go through a bead. And then you're going to pull it so that you take all of the extra slack out. And this is the hardest part of this whole entire thing of making, because you don't want to leave like here a gap, because there's my crimp tube. You don't want to leave a gap there, because then your beads will just be floating around and you'll see the gap. So you want to just kind of wiggle it down, and that's where I use the flat nose to pull it and to make sure everything's okay. So as you can see, I don't have any gap. I've got some wiggle room. It's not too much. Everything's good. So now we're going to crimp it just like we did the other side. You go to the back part first, crimp down, turn it sideways, and crimp the 2 sides together. There we go. Then you take your cutters, and you see how that's right there? You put it on just that one piece that needs to be cut off. Don't cut both pieces of wire. Put it down and cut it. That way it doesn't go flying and harm somebody if you have somebody with you. But that is how you make these cell phone chains. To put it on, I'll show you with mine here. Let me take mine off. So you have your little loop here. You go through your cell phone, have that loop out. So can you see that loop? Bring the beads through the loop and just pull it like that. And there you have a DIY cell phone chain. I will link in the bio where you can purchase those at on my website. And if you have any questions, you can go ahead and leave me a comment and I'll answer them for you. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.